Hello, Internet. I am Insane Lane, as well as Canadian Girl, and we are back with another body cam video. I saw this one last week, I think, and I didn't have this channel up and running yet, but I kept it because I really wanted to respond to this because a couple of very important things are seen in this video that I wish we would see less of, and I thought this was a very good example to cover on some things that need improving. I apologize if my background is still a little blinky. I don't know why it's doing that. I'm working on it. Hopefully it will soon be fixed. Okay, let's dive into this. It is titled, European Girl Does Not Understand How Trespassing Works, Goes to Jail. One thing I'm going to start doing is ranking the titles of videos because they're often misleading and there's some trends that are annoying me so hard that I would like to address. However, well, let's just say this one's the exception, not the rule.
Asked this woman to leave, and she is refusing after she was being extremely rude to my staff and having an issue about a price of a phone that she hasn't purchased. So, and she's refusing.
Do you speak English?
Absolutely.
All right, let's go.
Excuse me?
Okay.
You need...
Okay, so already I have a problem with this cop. This is a police officer who just got told by a store employee that this woman has been asked to leave. She's supposedly been rude to the staff and something about her purchasing a phone. The police officer has not so much as said hello to this woman. He starts with, "Do you speak English?" Which, looking at her, why would you assume that she doesn't? And I'm not trying to be any kind of racist or anything, but I'm saying, I don't see anything that would lead me to immediately suspect that she does not speak English, or I have also not been told that she doesn't. So I think that was a very rude comment to make and not a good first impression. And he's also just immediately going, "You need to leave." Not trying to say, "Ma'am, what's going on here today? What seems to be the issue? Please come outside with me so we can have a conversation about it." Just, "You need to go." I'm already not impressed.
To go outside.
Why?
The business wants you to leave. I'm telling you to leave right now. If you don't leave, I'm going to make you leave by force.
All right. I would like to know
Are
what
you
I
refusing
did.
to leave?
I would like to.
Come on.
Excuse me?
Okay, this cop is 100% in the wrong. We are literally 30 seconds into this video and he's physically dragging someone out of a business. Does the business have the right to ask her to leave? Yes. Are the police allowed to enforce that? Yes. Is this how they're supposed to do it? Hell no. I don't know what this cop's problem is, but he's got one. And I absolutely despise the way he is acting right now. Because he has no idea what is going on. He has been told by someone that this woman needs to leave. And while that may be legally true, there is a right way and a wrong way. And this is the extreme wrong way. Because she has tried to talk to him reasonably. She has tried to say what is going on. And all she was saying is she wanted to know why she's being asked to leave. We'll find out more about why she's saying this later and why she's extremely confused as to why this cop is putting hands on her. But I'm also confused why this cop is putting hands on her because he has absolutely no justification to put his hands on this woman right now. And you can say she was asked to leave and he has the right to make her all you want. And you may be legally right. You may be black and white on paper law right, but you're not morally right. You're not ethically right. This is wrong. And it should not be handled this way. And there are so many better ways to handle this.
Out.
But he is being very aggressive and very forceful. She's going with him. Note that she's going compliantly. And he's still putting her in cuffs and arresting her. And I'm sorry, but I want to punch this female cop.
You have to leave. That's not the time for discussion. I'll grab her stuff real quick.
Okay, ma'am, you need to try having a little more discussion. Use your words. But these are two cops that just want blind compliance with their authority, do what we say, and it doesn't matter whether we're right, wrong, or even legal, because the only crime is not doing exactly what I tell you when I tell you. That's the attitude I'm getting off of these two, and it's gross. They still have not made any attempt to communicate with this woman in any way. She has not said one complete sentence to them, and she's in handcuffs being marched to a car with probably not a clue as to why or what she has done wrong. Which, if I was her, I'd be in the exact same place. And of course, it's Florida. There's a reason they have the reputation they do.
Sit. You resisted.
No, she did
And
not.
trespassed.
You are.
I trust.
Okay, I'm sorry. This cop is a liar. This cop is a liar. She did not resist a single thing. You forcibly grabbed her and dragged her out of the store, and she came willingly with you and then stood there while you handcuffed her. If you call that resisting, you are a liar, sir. And you do not deserve to be wearing that badge if you're going to lie like that. And as for her saying she's done nothing wrong, we'll get to that in a minute because I understand exactly what her point of view is. And after listening for 5 seconds, you might too.
Do you have an ID on you?
Yeah. Well, you have all my stuff.
It's in your wallet over there?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's,
She's being a lot nicer than I would.
now and we'll search it.
I'd be raising holy hell right now.
Basically, the argument started because she wanted one phone, a certain color. They didn't have it in stock, so they offered her a different phone. They offered her payment plans. She thought they were trying to oversell her, or make her spend more money than she wanted to spend. After she argued and got loud, they asked her to leave multiple times.
Okay, so again, we have a cop that has just gone and talked to an employee. We don't see what was said, but they're very much one-siding it here. They still have not tried to talk to this person that they've arrested and get her side of the story here. That is very disturbing.
You have a guy's cameras that you should check before.
Because she's saying I was not out of line.
It doesn't matter. When the police come in to a business
I didn't do nothing.
and somebody wants someone to leave,
Look, say.
they have a right to ask you to leave.
Well, I
Just
think.
let me explain the law to you because I know the law. I've arrested a million people. When the business wants you to leave and they call the police, you have to listen to the police. I went in there. I asked you to leave. You refused.
May I speak now? No.
And then
That's power of position.
I told you.
Okay, I'm sorry, but that was rude. They do need to let her speak. I'm glad that he is trying in a very condescending way to explain the law to her, but the place to do that was before you dragged her out of the store. You are not the security guards for that store. Your job is not, despite the fact that many people see it that way, the job of the police is not to protect the business. It is to serve the community and to protect the public. This woman was not a threat to anybody. I didn't see her causing a scene. I don't think that she did. So the way they're acting is utterly ridiculous. And then for them to be rude on top of it and not allow her to say anything about what happened, this is not good policing at all. This is why cops get bad reputations, is behavior like this.
I would use force if you didn't leave. You still refused to leave. So I had to force you out of the place.
No,
You're
you
going to
didn't.
jail for resisting. They don't want to press charges for
Resisting
trespassing.
what?
No problem.
Okay, so now we have a bigger problem. Now, if I'm this guy's captain, again, I'm not a cop, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a judge, I'm just me. If I'm this guy's captain, I'm saying, why aren't you releasing this woman immediately? If the store is not pressing charges, if they don't want her legally trespassed, which he just said they don't, and you're now claiming that you're going to take her to jail solely because she resisted you, which I certainly didn't see, you're not only like a horrible cop, you're a horrible person, and this is absolutely absurd.
But I'm still charging you with resisting.
But you are getting a
Which you have no
trespass
right
warning
to
from the
do.
store.
Oh yeah, never come back.
They never want you in that store ever again.
No, and
if you go inside.
can I speak or
Yeah,
I cannot
go ahead.
speak? Can I speak? Okay,
Oh,
so
now you're finally
can
going to
I
let her
say what
talk.
happened?
Sure.
I came and I was interested in two particular facts. They told me that they don't have white one. They have a next one, blue one or whatever. They keep me 2 hours in the store. They told me I need to have transfer number from cricket to AT&T, stuff like this. 2 hours, okay? I asked them if they can give me the white one. They said
Good
they
dog.
have it in blue or in black. I said, then please give me in blue. I supposed to pay $50. 2 hours later, they didn't want to open a package, and they sell me something. When I pay them, I say like it's not 50, it's $80. So they say we don't have nothing more. I say, well then please can I talk to the manager because I would like to complain. And when the manager came, I say, look, I am kept here for 2 hours. They told me that the phone is blue or black. I asked for blue, and they give me something completely. They didn't inform They give me even more expensive one. They didn't, when I asked them open box, they didn't. Okay, and that's how I told her. I didn't go loud. You can check the comments. I didn't say nothing to her. I say, she told me, you being difficult, and now I want you to leave. And if you won't leave, I will call police. She
Yeah, I'm
is the loud
100%
one,
on
but
this
I
woman's
didn't. I
side
mean, it's democratic
because
country.
I've
I
been
feel
in
I
this
have right
situation.
to call manager if you give me 2 hours and
Did
Mhm.
they
say,
ask you to leave?
and I complain.
Did they tell you to leave the store?
Let me think. She say, I think she yes. She said that you need to leave and don't come back. But I didn't do nothing wrong.
It doesn't
That
matter.
that doesn't matter. You have to leave.
And then when he asked you to leave twice, you still refuse
But
to
look
leave.
how-
But that's he's not charging you
Okay,
for staying inside
ma'am,
the store.
put your hand down.
He's charging you for resisting because when he
Okay. This female cop needs to step all the way up. I'm sorry. She's just annoying. Like, all she's done is be rude. What this woman is saying, and I've been in this exact situation. She went to the cell phone store. She wanted a certain color phone. They didn't have it. She said, give me another color. They said it'll be $50. They kept her waiting a long time, then tried to upsell her probably to a higher package, or they didn't have the model of phone that she had agreed to purchase. And it sounds like she was saying, no, I want the phone for 50 that we talked about. And if it's blue, then it's fine. But they were trying to give her something else that she didn't want and at a higher price, and basically saying, well, this is what we have, so you have to take it. I have had that experience with customer service and specifically with cell phone companies. They're absolutely notorious for pretending to sell you one thing and then saying, oh, we don't have that, but we have this thing that's twice as much, because they know they have their customers over a barrel. You need a phone that works. It's essential to life at this point. So they know that they can force people to pay more than they should be and make them buy more expensive phones than they were intending because people are in a bind. They need a phone today. I'm not necessarily saying I know for sure that this lady's in that position, but from what it sounds like, this store gave atrocious service. They didn't have the phone that they said that they did. She agreed to a certain price for a certain phone. They then tried to insist or pressure her into buying a more expensive phone. And when she wouldn't, when she said, no, I want the cheaper phone that I agreed to and that you said you had, they said, well, you're being difficult now, so just get out. And I have 100% had that happen in stores where one time I was buying a table. I was buying my current dining room table, which is a large table with like 8 chairs. So it was an expensive purchase. So I asked a lot of questions. I asked about the manufacturing. I asked about the materials. I asked about how they would do for slip covers. I asked about the tabletop. It's a glass tabletop, about protecting it. And I asked a lot of questions about the warranty because that's very important, especially with a very big purchase. However, the sales girl could not answer my questions about the warranty. She didn't know anything about it. Now, that's a mistake on the store's part because if you're a salesperson, you should absolutely be able to explain the warranty that you are selling. And she couldn't do it. And she got incredibly frustrated and she yelled at me. She accused me of wasting her time. She said that with all the questions I was asking, it was clear that I had no intention of buying, which that's the most counterintuitive statement I have ever heard. Because if somebody's asking a lot of questions, that tells me they're very interested in the product. They're just making sure they're making the right decision, especially when we're talking about a large purchase. Now, eventually, she stormed away. And I think at one point she did tell me to just leave. I didn't, because I knew that I'm not leaving for when there's a table that I want to purchase just because one person can't explain a warranty and is losing their temper. Fortunately, the manager came over. He was able to answer my questions. I bought the table and everything was fine. But that was still the experience and it was still abysmal. So I'm guessing this lady just got terrible customer service. The store decided they didn't want to deal with her anymore. And so they're using the police as their personal security because she said, no, I'm a customer. I paid you. It's unclear whether she did pay them the 50 or she was going to. But either way, what she is saying is that she's a customer of this business. She was there doing business. And she was being calm and reasonable. I 100% believe her. I 100% believe that this woman did not raise her voice, lose her temper, or cause a scene of any kind. Do I think the manager, the one that approached the cops, probably did raise her voice and cause a bit of a scene? Yeah, I really do. I think this is 100% the store's fault. They could not meet their obligation. They couldn't do their job. And when she wouldn't, let them treat her that way and insisted on getting the product that she came for and potentially paid for, they said, fine, we're going to call the police and have them drag you out because we have the right to do that. And the police will absolutely act as our personal security and take our word for it and do whatever we say, regardless of what the truth is, regardless of what's right or wrong. And that's exactly what we're seeing, because the police didn't make any effort to communicate with this woman at all prior to arresting her. They didn't make any effort at all to understand what actually had occurred. And they've done nothing but be incredibly rude and overly aggressive with somebody who has been extremely compliant and, quite frankly, way more polite than I would have been to them, and more polite than they deserve, quite frankly. But, well,
Asked you to leave, you refused to leave.
Okay, now let me
And
ask you.
that's the thing.
But let me ask.
It is private property.
okay,
They are in charge
female
of that
cop,
property.
let her talk.
Because you should understand the law so you don't do this
You
again.
know, you don't. I don't think you get it. My point. I am a customer,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm sitting there for 2 hours. I didn't do nothing wrong. If you will check it, please.
Maybe the judge will explain it to
I
you.
am
But
just-
step out so we can
Okay,
fix you.
officer, you haven't explained it reasonably well. You have not.
I did nothing wrong. I complained.
Okay, here's what's going on. I left this comment on the original video, and a couple of people have agreed with me. What is going on here is this woman is obviously European. Here's a global fact for people. Trespassing is not a thing in Europe. It's pretty much only a thing in America. I'm not even sure if Canada has trespassing laws. So, I have several European friends. I have had to explain the concept of trespassing to them multiple times. And the one thing that they all universally find utterly ridiculous, because the concept is absurd, is that you can be trespassed from a private business. The concept of being asked to leave somebody's private home and they have the right to make you leave their home / their land, that's perfectly understandable because that is somebody's private property. A business in Europe is not private property. I mean, it's privately owned, but it's a public business. Therefore, it is open to the public. So a customer dispute like this would never in a million years result in the cops being called. Not unless this woman went bananas and put a chair through a window, because then you have property damage and public disturbance and threat to public safety, and that's a reason to call the police. The fact that you, as whatever cell phone store this is, were either out of stock, or your staff are untrained, or they're just plain rude, or they just didn't feel like doing what they were supposed to do today, and so decided to make this customer go away rather than deal with her in an appropriate, reasonable manner, is so disgusting on so many levels that businesses feel perfectly comfortable nowadays acting that way. Like, businesses used to be respectful of their customers. They used to want your business and very much solicit your business and be grateful when you became a lifelong customer and spent your money with them. Now they're like, give me all your money and I'm going to treat you like garbage, and you have no option but to put up with it. And if you don't like it, we will call the police and have you dragged out and arrested. But that, in my opinion, is why this woman's not understanding, because it's an absurd concept that as a customer who is paying for a service, who is engaged in a transaction in that store, that A, you would be asked to leave just because the store doesn't feel like doing their job, and that B, the police would show up at all, and C, that you could possibly be arrested for being in a public business that you have every right to be in. Now, I know somebody in the comments is going to say, well, once they ask her to leave, she loses the right to be there. The store is wrong to ask her to leave, and it's wrong that they have the right to do that, and these cops are incredibly wrong for what they're doing. And all the more so because she's not even being officially trespassed. She's just being warned not to come back. And this absolute disgrace of an officer is still going to claim that she was resisting and arrest her for that. YouTube might not like this comment, and I'm sorry to get down on this level, but I want to convey the level of disgust I have in this cop. Way to tell me you have a 1-inch penis without telling me you have a 1-inch penis, bro.
Time for being there for 2 hours. That's it.
You're not listening to the whole thing.
No, I don't.
No,
understand
you
the
actually are
laws.
not
That's
listening.
crazy.
Yeah, you
I
Yeah.
didn't do
read up on
nothing.
the law so you can understand
Yes.
better.
Well, then
Clearly.
Once you are
Okay,
asked to leave,
stop being
either by the
condescending.
manager or by
Okay.
us,
Stop
you
being
are
rude.
required to leave regardless.
Really?
Regardless.
Even if I
Because
didn't do
if-
nothing,
if
please don't be
I'm
aggressive
not.
on me.
I'm not.
You
I needed you
are.
to turn.
You
That's all
are.
I'm doing.
Okay,
is
did you
telling
ask her?
That's abuse. It's hurting.
Yes, it is.
Cameras are recording.
That
That's
doesn't
good,
matter.
actually, you guys should do some adjustment in your.
Yes,
know-
you should.
She's not very much. So.
Yeah,
The
right.
pockets.
That's a problem.
Oh, let me double
You
look.
don't. You don't.
No.
You don't like the way I look like.
Hang on, step back out.
Good on this lady for calling her out, because the cop, unless I'm very much mistaken, made a comment about the size of her chest and said she doesn't have very much there. So yeah, I'm with this woman being highly offended, saying, oh, you don't like the way I look? Like, seriously, this female cop, why are you there? You are nothing but rude. And now you want to pull this, and you yank somebody when you could have just said, hey, please turn to face me so I can search you. Is that asking too much that you use your words, officer? Though these two clearly weren't trained to use their words, and that's not how they operate. And they're still being so condescending. And, well, yes, this woman has an obligation to know the law. The fact is, most people don't know the majority of laws. I bet people who consider themselves very well read on the law, you could probably find 1,000 laws in their own state that they've never heard of. And especially if you are from somewhere else originally, as I highly suspect this woman is, the differences in laws between two countries can be a lot more than people think they are. And trespassing is a very minor thing. And it's, again, it's one of those things that's different state to state. So not surprising that someone would be unaware of it. And I still haven't heard these cops give a good explanation of what trespassing is. They've only explained that basically, we tell you to leave, you need to leave. But the way they're saying it is that it's under their authority, not that it's a law or that it's, the way things work. I'm just saying they have not explained it well. And they've been just incredibly rude and condescending and disrespectful on top of that. And now they're just completely committing the world's most unnecessary arrest.
I'm saying that there's not a lot to search. There's no baggy pockets. There's
Uh-huh.
no coats. There's no purses. There's no.
Uh-huh.
That was what I'm indicating.
Uh-huh.
All right, step back in.
I'm over these two.
Going to jail.
I deserve to go to
Not
jail.
all our
Wow,
stuff.
I
Like,
cannot
it's
believe that.
absolutely disgraceful.
Which ID did you send me, the RP?
Yeah, that's the.
I am requesting you guys to check these cameras with the AT&T,
No, thank you.
so I could see the.
It doesn't have audio.
Okay, so several things to unpack. This has been a long one for a short video, so I'm going to try to keep this brief. Those cops both get a straight F. I hope that their higher ups see that video and do something. That's never going to happen, because the cops are within their rights legally. They're within the bounds of the law, which is pathetic and disgusting. Both that the law is that, and that even though they handled this atrociously and very disrespectfully, there's no chance of any action being taken against the officers, because according to the law and according to department policy, etc., they will have done nothing wrong. Being rude, being condescending, being obnoxious, being ignorant, that's all perfectly fine. I feel very, very bad for this woman. I think that store deserves to be put on blast for the way their employees acted and the way that they handled this situation. I think this police department needs a lot better training on how to explain themselves and how to interact with people in general, because walking up and saying, do you speak English, followed by get out, is not what I would call respectful or good policing. Also, the fact that they didn't listen to her for way too long, and when they did, it was like, so what? They didn't try to understand her point of view. They didn't try to have a reasonable dialogue with her. And then for them to arrest her for resisting, I'm sorry, you are the biggest punk in the world. You're an absolute disgrace. You shouldn't be wearing a badge if you think that that was justified in any way. Like, these two are absolutely awful. They're straight fail. Like, biggest F in the world. But I will say for once, the title of the video was correct. European girl does not understand how trespass works. The second part of that is cops utterly terrible at their job. That's my opinion. I know I came out hot on this one, but it hit a lot of red flag points for me. What is your take? If you were the store, how would you have handled it? If you were the cops, how would you have handled it? If you were this woman, how would you have handled it? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Please like, comment, and subscribe if you are new here, and check back soon for more new videos. Until then, I have been Insane Lane as well as a Canadian girl. Take care of you. Bye-bye.